Ladies and gents, this is the first series in the Platinum League of T90 Titans League. Something that I hope we're going to look back on like 10 years from now and say, man, I'm glad we started that thing. I really hope this is a consistent thing and brings great future to Age of Empires 2. More and more opportunities for players. Again, it is a multi-league system with promotion and relegation. And we have TheViper in the yellow, one of the favorites, of course, to stay, not only stay in Platinum League, but potentially win the whole thing. He's in the yellow, and he is up against one of the players in his group of 6 players in Saymyname in the teal. Again, this happens every 6-ish months, right? The goal is to do 2 seasons a year. And shout out to Microsoft for coming in for the first 2 seasons, $22,500. That goes towards these seasons. We have the Gold League. We have the Platinum League, which is on top of that. Again, I'll have more information out there, but we have Ravines here for game number 1. Now, Viper picked the Mongols. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I was asking, like, okay, is the Mongols really a good pick here? And the more I look at it, I was actually incorrect. There's a bit more hunt than I had remembered. So, Mongols, fantastic pick. On this map, you do start with outposts. And there's wood lines all around. And there's also resources all over the map to find later on. But, you know, at the start, obviously, you're going to want to get as much food as possible. And you see both players doing that. TCs are kind of situated on a hill. It's very awkward because you can't easily protect yourself. Because if you were to get attacked here, let's say, and you have to run back to your town center, the opposition's doing hill bonus damage on you as you run back to your TC. But Saymyname saw the draft, saw the Viper had picked Mongols, and said, well, what civilization can I pick to counter the Mongols? And he picked Berbers. And I actually think Berbers are one of the best civilizations against the Mongols. So this is not to say Viper can't have success. I think the faster hunt is going to really give Viper a good head start here. But, you know, if you think Mongols and you think Mangadai, well, there's Camel Archers. And that's the tricky thing. And then, you know, the cheaper Knights and the cheaper Camels from Berbers gives them a lot of potential in the Castle Age. So I'd say Castle Age is kind of the age for Berbers. Dark Age and Feudal Age may be a little bit better for the Mongols here. Now, historically, we have seen very long games on this map. When looking at the map pool, we wanted to have a mix, right? So we have some maps that incorporate water. We have a lot of maps that are like Arabia, Serengeti, maps that are aggressive land maps. But then we have Arena, and then we have a modified fortified clearing. So those are 2 closed maps. And I wanted one that was kind of similar to that, but you didn't start with any walls, and we went with Ravines for that reason. And so, yeah, I mean, Viper already thinking about walling up here, right? And it's just an easy thing to do on this map. I am going to quickly, sorry to do this, just move my little logo here out of the way. Things look a little bit better there. Perfect. All right. Do you think we'll see a Genitor? I mean, Genitor's a really good unit, man. I think the issue with Genitor is you have to wait until Castle Age to make it. And if you're up against Crossbowmen, let's say, you're going to have a problem if you wait for Genitor, because archers can be made in Feudal Age. Look at Viper on the way to Feudal Age already. But yeah, archers can be made in Feudal Age. And so you could have like 15 crossbows at your base, and then you're only stuck with 1 Genitor. So I would say that's the problem with the unit. But certainly another thing I could have maybe brought up in regards to the Berbers. So the nice thing about this map, especially being the first game of the series, is that you're not going to run a scout into the TC. You'll see the elevation or the decline, and you're going to see the outpost. So it's very hard to make that mistake. And on the flip side, it's easier to play defense because you have the outposts. So I like Viper's approach. He's like, well, listen, I can't full wall this thing and go fast castle. That's too risky. But what I will do, and he didn't even get Loom yet. He has Loom queued behind Feudal Age. Sneaky little move. But he's walled off this whole side. And so to me, it looks like it's going to be a scout rush for him. For Saymyname, he's gone for 2 lumber camps, something that Viper has not done. And so Viper's actually going to save the wood for the stable. And if Viper sees this scout, Viper might turn around to go attack it. And this is an amazing start for Viper. And this is a big reason to pick the Mongols. But I don't think Saymyname was expecting Viper to be this fast. I think there's arguments to say you should have expected this, but with Feudal Age being in, Viper's going to kill this scout. And honestly, the best value from Saymyname's scout he's getting right now, because he's at least getting a hit every time Viper gets a hit. And yeah, I think he should realize now his scout's dead. So good start for Viper. He'll have 2 scouts. It'll be 0 for Saymyname. And Viper still with a little bit of sheep remaining and going to the double berries. Definitely requires a different type of build order, this map. Yeah, I mean, dream scenario for Viper. Obviously, he hasn't killed villagers, but now he's able to apply pressure, and this is the reason you pick the Mongols. So let me just restate a couple things about the league. So you have 6 players in each league, or each group, sorry. And, Viper being annoying, Viper being annoying, Viper being annoying. Say my name, you need to attack. Okay, good job. Faster vills with Berbers, so the potential to save them. Here comes Viper with another scout, though. The Spearman is waiting here for Say My Name. Interesting little moment here. Viper has 2 scouts in the Spearman now, and this one Spearman is being distracted by the other scout. And Viper's going to end up getting that kill, so it's a great start for the Snake. And he could get more as well. I mean, there's still a weak villager in here. And he's still got Spearman, 2 scouts, and the Spearmen are still behind. But save from Say My Name. He's not letting me explain details on this. It's not like I'm not going to have videos on it. Viper attacking again. And, oh, Viper wants this villager here. That's what he wants. Viper, it's just been all Viper so far, man. I mean, he started off early feudal age killing the scout. He's being very patient as well, I have to say. Could have dove in to get more villager kills. So far, has only killed 1. But it's like every time Viper, it looks like Viper's not going to have a problem. Say My Name is there to hold. Now we've got 4 scouts. Again, the Spearman, though, Viper runs away. Did T90's voice get thicker? If you're watching on mobile refresh, it might be a bug. I occasionally can sound a lot lower. But I've never heard someone say thicker, so. So on Arabia, the natural move from this type of position would be for Viper to switch into archers. And we do see an archer range, and we'll see. It looks like he's going to get housed. We'll see if he takes the gold. But when your opponent goes Spearman defense like this, you want to go into archers. Now, at lower levels, you'll see some players go, oh god, that's a misclick. What is that? Okay. At lower levels, you'll see players go into skirms to counter the spears, which is actually fine, right? You can do that. The concern, though, is that if your opponent has a stable and is making scouts, I think it's important to note that Viper has not seen it. Oh, no, he does see the stable. I'm dumb. Anyways, the point is if you make skirms here, you're vulnerable. So I would not suggest making skirms. But man, Say My Name only losing 1 villager to that is very impressive. I did notice, though, he got housed a lot. And obviously had more villager idle time and more villagers moving around. So it certainly isn't going to feel great for him right now. The Viper now is kind of a step ahead as he sends forward the archer. But has lost a scout there. Deleted a Vil, question mark? I don't think anyone deleted a Vil. If you saw something, though, I'll look. I think Viper having some idle time, Say My Name having some idle time, has brought us to where we're at. And here come the scouts. Now, this is not something Viper sees, and Say My Name saw the blacksmith, and he should kill this villager. It is first game of the series. Play all 3 for Viper. Let's see if he can maybe save this one. He's going to try and quick wall here. Say My Name knows he's got the skills to do it, and Viper's going to lose the villager. Well played, Say My Name. And actually, if Say My Name gets the walls down here as well, not only do you have a bear attacking Viper here, which is kind of inconvenient, but Viper is not really in the position that he would want with those archers. So I think the archer play is kind of nullified at this point because the blacksmith was delayed, which means a late fletching, and the walls for Say My Name on this side. Wouldn't it be so annoying for Say My Name, though, if Viper snipes his villager? He's going for a tower right now, so he knows the archers are coming. He's deciding to make more scouts. I think if Viper had fletching, he could hit that Vil. I'm not sure. I feel like maybe if he moved the Spearman and the archers, if he had the archer there, I think he could have actually hit that Vil. Here we have a fight, though, for Say My Name, and oof, it's a rough fight for him. And it's been a difficult start to the series, but still super manageable for him. He's on stone now with the Berbers, so he gets to camel archers. There's always that question of what are Mongols going to do, right? Now, okay, so back to my point. So I'm going to restate this stuff a bunch of times because I want people to know. The way this works is you have 6 players in each group. And Saymyname should kill this archer. Oh, man. Viper. Viper going to lose this archer. Saymyname. There you go. Free kill for him. Sloppy follow-up from the Viper, I have to say. He comes in here. Tower's on the way. Important moment. I still can't speak because the series is so aggressive. I like it. People say Ravines is a campy map. These players are showing it doesn't have to be. Tower's at 75%. Saymyname's done an excellent job. Well, maybe I jinxed him here because now he's going to lose more vills. Where's Viper going now? Viper! Is that pathing, maybe? Okay, kills another villager. I guess in the end it's fine. Holy crap, man. Lots of aggression. The scouts were over here at the same time, which is probably what led to that mistake. You have 6 people in each group. You play them each once, and they play all 3, and then you tally up the scores at the conclusion. That's how it works. Certain players get relegated after that. Certain players stay alive, and then the top 3 in each group advance on to a playoff. There we go. Finally got it out. I don't know, man. Like, yes, Viper's killed villagers. And yes, Viper will have a villager lead. And I quite like the fact he got wheelbarrow on a map like this because it's so awkward to run around constantly. But if Saymyname is in Castle Age faster here, which it looks like will be the case, Saymyname will be in a pretty good spot. I think the key here for Viper in this moment, though, is to use his archers effectively and deny the gold. You need to push Saymyname off of that gold. Saymyname is otherwise walled over here. And he's still running around with his scouts at Viper's base, looking for Vil kills, which he might find. There should be an archer that can go down. Viper losing another archer. Another scout arrives. Archer doesn't go down. Viper pulls it back. He's got a spear. He's got an archer. He's going this way. So, Saymyname missing the gold, but he has this gold now. Viper actually clicked up a lot faster than I expected, like 2 minutes ago. So he clicks up. And this is more along the lines of what you would expect from someone who's killed 4 villagers, right? He up this fast. It doesn't look to me like Saymyname, though, is going to be going into camel archers right away. He doesn't have enough stone to consider a castle. And I don't think you necessarily should rush it either. I think it's a very important thing in this matchup. And Viper has to keep an eye on things, too, because he might be thinking right now that with his opponent being on stone that it'll be camel archers. But Berbers have very cheap knights and camels. Viper's not making any military right now, so it tells me he might actually add a second stable and just play defensive and go for camels. It's a very Viper-esque style to just play into a couple of counter units and then just boom. I could see a town center over here, for example. He's got lots of wood banked up. But yeah, I mean, this army for Viper could easily get picked off by knights. We'll see how much value he's able to get from it, though, because he is here on the hill. It's kind of funny. You move back here thinking this gold's going to be safe, and now you need to run forward to this gold. And obviously during that, Viper gets a hit. How many of the group stage sets are you going to cast? Well, there's simply too many games for me to cover all of them, especially with there being a gold league as well. There you go. There's a pick off for Saymyname. Well played. 4-3 eco KD here. 13-11 total KD in favor of Saymyname. I'm going to do my best. We will do some with recorded games. And then we will do some live like we're doing this series. Viper will lose another Vil. And Saymyname evens up the Vil kills. Viper, though, with crossbow and with bodkin arrow. And Saymyname needs to get the knights out to deal with this. Viper, this is definitely a situation where Viper will just go for Vil kills. He didn't invest into this to end up trading against army, which you would sometimes do. He invested into this to get Vil kills. And Saymyname keeps his villagers alive. Pulls the knights over here, and Viper will know. He's going to have to group up with his camels, probably. Viper goes into a monastery. Love the move. This is to get relics. There's a lot of relics on this map, but also just to convert knights. And, ooh, great pickoff here from Saymyname as he kills more units from the Viper. Saymyname is fine. Saymyname adding a second TC. Viper's going to be on 3, though. This game's going to go late. This is awesome. I think this map's fantastic. I really think it produces some good games. Saymyname, he is to pull back here. And I think he was debating on counterattacking. He's thinking, okay, Viper, if you're not going to attack me, I'll just counterattack you. And then he saw the army with the other 2 knights. And now he figures, well, I might as well kill this. But, oof. Rough one there as he loses a knight. Viper just wanted value from this army. Crossbow's not the most expensive upgrade. Bodkin arrow, I think, is, you know, it's certainly more expensive, but I still consider everything to be worth it so far for Viper. If you look at how he's positioned his spearmen, it's on the front, which is kind of cute micro. Still, in the end, spears get wrecked by a knight in a 1v1. And he wasn't actually attacking with them, so this will be a clear up. It's just an awkward spot again. And say my name, I mean, these are the small things against Viper. It's like, you don't want to lose these knights. In the end, he won't lose a knight. He could maybe heal it up with a monastery. There's a monastery for him, and there's also a third TC for him. So, wow, yeah, really close game. 47 villagers for both. Viper playing full defensive right now. And here he goes for conversion. And he actually goes for conversion on a full HP knight and gets it. The monk goes down, obviously. And the knight's now engaged underneath the town center. And we'll see how this fight looks after it's over. I personally think that that was a really good moment for Viper. And even though the KD doesn't suit Viper right now, he did invest into the economy a little bit faster. And he's always going to have a few monks out there too. So I think that goes a long way. Already having one relic. And Say My Name kind of needs to heal up half his army. I don't think he can be too offensive right now. So, Mongols versus Berbers have an interesting swing. So, we saw the strength of Mongols. Now, Berbers tend to be a bit better, usually, because simply due, and look, he's going to heal these up. But simply due to the fact of having cheaper knights. Berbers also start to look a bit better once Camel Archers start to come out. But I think if it gets to a world where Viper has Hussars, Mangudai, and Siege, Berbers can't really compete with the Siege. But look at this group for Viper. He's got crossbows and he's got camels. Keep in mind, he has 0 upgrades on his camels. That could actually play a big role here. And he also is scouting the map and looking for relics. Already having 2 at home right now is a big deal. And there's stones and golds everywhere. That's what's great about Ravines, is you can expand anywhere and find resources. And having the outpost means that Say My Name should see this is here. And he could click to get conversions here. Viper diving a little deep. Viper realizing he needs to back away. No conversions. Let's see what Viper's reaction time looks like over here. So yeah, I guess to answer your question, once Camel Archers start to come out, yeah, Berbers start to feel much stronger. But Mongols, I think that's why Viper's still making crossbowmen. Because Mongols do get Arbalest, and it's another ranged unit to have out there. Oh, the quick wall from Viper. What a big moment. He might debate on trapping here. Yeah, he definitely was thinking about trapping there. But can you imagine if those knights get through, man? That's like 8 to 10 villagers killed. And then Viper has to send his whole army back. So that's a really big moment for him. Kind of a quick wall you would expect someone of his caliber to make. But again, this league overall is going to be about consistency, right? How good can you be over the long term? Also, very much a map where I wouldn't be surprised if people go 4 town center boom more frequently. 3 town centers kind of meta for us. Say My Name's super housed right now, by the way. Can't produce out of any of his TCs. Can't produce out of any of his... Okay, he's got a stable producing. But yeah, he's getting wheelbarrow purely because he's housed. He does have a lot of knights, though. Like, this is a dangerous amount of knights. With +2 armor and bloodlines and attack. I think Viper's looking for that knight army back here. Not going to find it. He's probably going to pull back in front. And I think the important moment of this game is when Viper goes to build a castle. Viper will probably want a castle in front of the town center here. There's stones and golds there, but if he senses there's trouble, he might want to build the castle behind his TC. And you can see now, I mean, he's getting bloodlines, so that beefs his camels up a little bit more. But that's a lot of knights. And Say My Name's going to engage against this. We'll see how good the crossbowmen do from behind. The monk doesn't get any conversions here. Viper's got the town center. He's got the crossbows. Keep in mind, he does have ballistics. But look at the camels melt because of lack of upgrades. Now, Say My Name is also heavily on stone right now. If he could continue to send knights forward and kill enough Viper crossbowmen and maybe drop a castle here, it could be strong for him. But man, I have to say, the melee pathing was really hard on him here when he tried to engage. And while it looked a little antsy possibly for Viper, ended up looking better. And what a great play for him to add the crossbow. I think you know, it's not something a lot of players would do with Mongols continuing to make crossbows. They would try and get to Mangudai as quickly as possible. So maybe it's the matchup. Maybe it's a lot of other factors. But man, is he having fun here. And yeah, he's going to move forward and take the stone. And that was an important moment, right? I think Saymyname maybe dove a little too early. I think that if he would have just waited another 5 minutes, Viper wasn't necessarily making more camels, then the engagement might have actually worked out. Full advantage for the snake now, though. He just has to be careful about overextending with this army. Obviously, finding value is fantastic, but at the end of the day, there's going to be full night production from Saymyname. And so this is where he's probably going to drop a castle and fall back, and will he be able to make it home? Again, and a really important moment here. Let's see what the melee pathing looks like, because there's been a lot of conversations about it just being really bad in the last couple patches. And I'm in agreement on that, by the way. And Viper's going to make it worse. He's trying to anyways. He tried to make a little hole, a little hidey hole for his crossbows. The knights are here, though. Viper is on the way to the Imperial Age. He needs to keep his army alive. He does have the 3 monks. He's going to go for conversion. Saymyname will kill the monks, though. And now Saymyname was going to drop a castle, but Viper drops a castle. And now Saymyname drops the castle. And can Viper keep his crossbow mass alive? The crossbow upgrade is very cheap. It's 125 food and 75 gold. And everybody these days is going for crossbow. But Viper, will he have crossbow anymore? He's got 15 now. Saymyname is going to bail, though. And maybe he wisely bails? I'm surprised at that, actually. I think he should have continued to try and finish that. I think his castle would actually go up. Because if you don't get your castle up there, the rams are not going to be effective. He's going to try and go rams. Viper's on the way to imp. Viper just barely weathering the storm again. Again, you know, that initial attack underneath the town center, I feel like if Saymyname would have just held off there a little bit longer, Viper might have been punished here. Shows the quality of the group, because Saymyname, many people would put as maybe 5th or 6th in the total group. But he earned his spot, man. He's had a really good year. Also had really good, for what it's worth, he actually had a really good history against the Viper as well. But I don't think he's expecting Viper to be on the way to the Imperial Age. Viper now is going to think about Arbalest. Again, I think a really good move with Mongols. You just don't think about Mongol Arbalest as much as you do with other civs. But it is something they have access to. There's a mangonel here. Viper will have to respect that. Castle here for Saymyname is more defensive. He's still all-in castelled with night production. And again, there were 2 moments there. And now that window is shut. You've been spending food. I know it's cheaper, but you've been spending resources on knights. And now you're like, well, crap. I needed to really hit his army, and I needed to hit his eco with the night production. And Viper is going to start off with conscription, which means his military will create faster. Nice safe play. Actually hasn't clicked Arbalest, which is kind of funny. Build count similar. Viper really needs to click Arbalest. I mean, having Bracer is good, don't get me wrong. But he could lose this army. And then he might have to go into Mangudai. And I'm just a little worried for the snake that not clicking Arbalest will end up being something he regrets here. Again, like, the knights are always bumping each other. It's very hard for them to ever get around and engage crossbows. But Viper, okay, the villagers are trying to make a house so Viper can't hide. No, it's fine if Viper hides, I think. You have the town center here on this side. And then you have Siege coming in on this side. And Viper says, now I'll click Arbalest. Now, he can technically micro this down. We'll see what he sees, though. And oh, my God. That's so disappointing if you're Saymyname. Oh, big shot, though. Okay, so that's a decent shot in the end. But yeah, Viper still gets tons of value. Here he's dropping the castle. It really looked like Viper was going to be hit by that shot. He did a great job of acting like he wasn't paying attention. He needed to clear this Saymyname. He so badly needed to clear this so he could prep for what's to come, because what's to come is not going to be easy to deal with. He's trying to make that Camel Archer switch, but he knows he can't engage against the Arbs. Even if they're weak, he can't engage against them easily. Now, what he can consider doing is sniping the Trebs with Cavalier if he can get there. So he is going to mass his Cav. But yeah, I mean, Viper already here with trebuchets. I think an important indicator of how confident Viper is as well is how he researched conscription earlier. A lot of players, as these camel archers are going to go down, they would rush the trebs in that situation. But he was like, nah, I've got 4 relics. I'm going to have control here. I just want to make sure that I can take every step that I can to make sure I'm further ahead in the long term. And if you take out the castles from Berbers, they can't make camel archers. And if they can't make camel archers, then you can make Mangudai. And I think we might even see Elite Mangudai clicked here in a second for Viper. This will be fun. Because Viper's going to head over here. Saymyname has been out here on this extra gold, and he's going to place a castle there. TC there, excuse me. He's also on the berries here, also on the gold here. Again, there's resources on this map. Very important that he clicks Cavalier in a safe stable here. Saymyname. Also that he runs away, obviously. And he did do that. He moved the Cavalier upgrade to one of his later stables. Viper getting scale barding armor? Oh, elite step lancers. You don't see that every day at a high level. Viper with Mangudai on the gold, scouting the sides, realizing his opponent's going to expand. Also has an Arbalest here, so if you zoom out, Viper's obviously pushing in the middle, but he's expanding to the sides as well. And he will obviously take care of this TC with this castle too. He just doesn't know it yet. I love this move. And the Elite Step Lancer move's interesting. Because normally you're not going to get that and Elite Mangudai, but he's going to have both. And I felt it was a pretty strong start for Viper here. Fairly good Civ matchup for Saymyname. And I think when it's all said and done, we're going to say Saymyname had his chances. But the Snake was able to hold when it mattered. It was all next to that town center. There was 2 fights where it really made the difference. And now he's finally got Cavalier with full armor. So now he can start to take good engagements, but it has to be amazing for him now. I'm not sure good is going to cut it. Also, Viper's ranged micro, good as always. We'll finally lose this group and lost the other group earlier, but now he's got some Step Lancers mixed in with some Mangudai. I don't know. I mean, I feel like on another map, Step Lancer and also Mangudai would be tricky because double gold units hard to afford, but not on Ravines. On Ravines, you can actually see that because there is gold everywhere. And Viper's making sure that his economy is stronger here as well, right? He was still hitting on the left a moment ago. He just hit on the right as we saw. And Viper, whoa, 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 whoa. I don't know what happened there. Maybe he tried to click a building and accidentally misclicked it and they started rolling that way. Little wasteful for the Snake, but in the end, this guy's got Mangudai, he's got Step Lancers, and he's got economy. And for Saymyname, I'm sure he knows it's probably over here. He's going to take one big fight. Does have a lot of cav in queue. So. And now you've got the trebuchets here as well. Termin, this is essentially Hidden Cup Ravines, to answer your question. Now TTL Ravines, right? Viper going to get the 5th relic as well. Nice stuff. But yeah, he should be able to make it look pretty easy from here. Actually, kind of low on golds. And I think I should probably put market events on for 1v1s. They just sold a bunch of food for gold. But there's got to be more gold around. Deleting villagers back there. That's sad. Yeah, there we go. He's got those villagers on gold now. So, again, he's fine. I really wish that, and I've been saying this for years, I wish that we could have like a save and a restore at certain points and play certain situations out differently. Look at these Step Lancers go, man. They're all getting hits. So you know what solves the lack of melee pathing? Step Lancers, because they have the range, man. Look at the Cavalier bump into each other and not be able to attack. The Step Lancers just attack all the time. And that's before we talk about the Mangudai. And wow, that's a crazy combination there. Yeah, this is over. Viper's gonna win game 1. GG called. So I think a pretty good start to the series here. Again, Viper comes in here as the favorite. Saymyname the underdog. There was opportunities here for Saymyname. I really think it came down to the 2 fights. The first fight especially, because he got to the situation where Zika was pretty much even with the Vipers. And he tried to go all in, right? I think the engagement next to the TC, he expected to go a whole lot better. Had he known it was going to go like that, he would have maybe delayed and waited for 5 to 10 more nights. And honestly, guys, if he gets 5 to 10 more nights and then engages, I think Viper has some big problems. I think it's possible Viper makes it to Imp, but the castle never goes up for him. And I think we have Viper fighting to bring this game back. But he was able to hold on by the finest of margins. And Saymyname, you know, I think he showed how much quality he has. And we'll move on to Arabia next, which will be Saymyname's home map after Viper gets the first win. Yeah, pretty good game. And it was interesting to see Viper pick Mongols here as well, because I did watch a set in the Gold League yesterday. And we had Gurjaras versus Franks. So, like, some players preferring different civilizations. There is not as much hunt. This is why Termint asked about it. There's not as much hunt on the tournament version of Ravines as the standard DE version as Ravines. So I didn't think Mongols would be quite as much of a pick. But I think Viper took initiative early on and then played defensively in the mid game and worked out for him, as it so often does with Mongols, man. He's really good with Mongols. 200 kills, 155 deaths. If you look at the economy, I think a lot of this really started to shoot up over the last 10 minutes because Viper killed a lot of villagers from Saymyname. Yeah, full control for the Snake as we move on now to game number 2. So here we are, game number 2, Viper versus Saymyname. This is the first Platinum set in T90 Titans League, and I was just explaining that I really think that this is a good matchup for Saymyname. Excited to see how the players perform here, but very similar to game number 1, I think Viper's Civilization has a few more power spikes. The plus 100 gold, the plus 100 food you receive with Ethiopians at the start of each age, you can use that to maybe get an edge. The faster firing archers, you can use that to get an edge. But overall, Britons, they have the cheaper TCs, they have the faster working ranges, they have additional range on their archers, and they also have the sheep bonus. They have a Dark Age bonus, and that's before you even talk. Did I say cheap TCs? I mean, we could talk about that. We could talk about that if players need to transition into stable units. Britons also get better blacksmith upgrades there. So, again, I think I prefer Britons here. I was a little confused by Viper's draft. So I guess if he picked Mayans game 1 and he's not playing with them here, he'll probably want Mayans on Gold Rush, though. So that's not too confusing. If you watch the Resurgence tournament, we basically based our Arabia version around that. However, this is a bit weird. Basically, players typically have 3 woodlines to work with, so it's a bit more closed off. It's a little less punishing than, say, King of the Desert. This is a full wall off here for Saymyname, and it's almost one of those things that's bad for you, too, because you take it, and let's say crossbows come around, you have to loop the whole way around to get to them. So, I'm not actually sure that ends up being a good thing. It looks like 2 woodlines just connected to each other here. It certainly would be good for protection in this area, so we'll see. I could definitely see gold being awkward for him. The positioning of this is pretty brutal compared to Viper's. Classic Viper map packs. This gold might be the one that's preferred, so... yeah, I mean, opportunities for the Snake. Definitely has the more standard map gen, let's put it that way. There's no bugs. There's no resources missing. You don't call restarts or go back to the drawing board just for some awkwardness here or there. That can happen. And we'll see what the strategy ends up being for Saymyname. Sometimes if you see a player building a house out here like this, and you have a gold like that, sometimes that means he's going to make a barracks next. And we'll see. G-Bent, we would have gone for Gold Rush if Viper would have lost. But since Viper went, Viper won, we have Saymyname's home map. But it is play all 3, so we will see Gold Rush. Saymyname should be fine. Okay, so this is a nice indicator. He sees Viper has the mill already. And this will tell him Viper's not going for the drush. And he is going for the drush. Now, Viper's actually opened 3 on wood. So if I'm Saymyname and I see this, I'm thinking, oh, crap, this guy's going to go archer. So he's kind of expecting pressure from me. So essentially what Viper's doing here is he says, I hope he drushes me. I hope he delays his feudal age. I just want to rush feudal age as quickly as possible. And I actually really like that idea as a whole because it is... otherwise, if you stay in Dark Age, you're just delaying one of the bonuses you get with Ethiopians, right? Plus 100 food, plus 100 gold. That's something you want as fast as possible. But I think rushing to feudal age to take advantage of that is always a good play. But yeah, I think, part of the reasoning for this build order from Saymyname could have been how wallable he sees his map is on the side here. And also, him maybe thinking to protect the gold. I personally, if I have a gold like this, I also rush feudal because the worst case scenario is if you rush, do no damage, and then they have archers on you really fast. But I'm looking at Viper now, and Viper has not scouted anything, so let's see if he's got his quick walls ready. Saymyname does know about the gold, so I mean, you can try and hit the berries, you can try and hit the wood, but you could also deny the gold from Viper. I guess it's a little less effective because Ethiopians get the extra resources. But what you don't want to do is show Viper this. You do not want Viper to know that this is happening. And again, you see the wood line? Viper's like, what is happening here? Viper's very confused. And okay, he just saw it. And Saymyname knows he's been spotted. And now he loops around. This is where Viper needs to drop off the wood with these guys. He needs a mining camp fast, and he needs a palisade. Okay, this is not bad for Saymyname. Look at this. So he's keeping Viper. He's keeping Viper over here next to the gold. Viper's just walled it in. Oh no, dude. Oh, this is so much less effective now. Okay, now Viper attacks. I still think, listen, this whole strategy is not designed to get kills. This whole strategy is meant to delay, right? So I still think that this is actually okay for Saymyname, because behind this, he's on the way to feudal age, and he's going to have his own range. Now, as for what his eco looks like while he has to do all this stuff, that's a different thing. This could be a little problematic, like having 2 villagers on the new lumber camp's not what you want. You need villagers on gold now. But in the end, Viper gets his mining camp up, and Viper gets his range up, which is pretty much what Viper wanted. Oh, and Viper's also making militia. Oh my god. This is honestly really sick. This is really sick. Normally, you would never go up this fast for Man-at-Arms, and then be able to do all of this, and also afford the wood upgrade, and also the Man-at-Arm upgrade. This is, oh, geez. I don't think Saymyname ever expects this. He's expecting straight archers. Every step of the way. He's going to wait for that archer to arrive, and he thinks that's it. Look at this range. He does not know about this, guys. He has no clue. And if Viper sees this, Viper could kill 2 villagers and have a very fast victory here. Let's see how quickly Saymyname can react. He will probably just attack the scout. Uh-oh. I think you have to run and delete the range. And he's going to try and run. There's the range. Another range. He doesn't delete the other one. Viper kills the villager just like that. And yeah, you have to get rid of this one. Wow, what a great play from Viper here. That's sick, man. I think going for the fast blacksmith is a little ambitious. I don't know if he'll be able to afford fletching. Also, he has to be careful not to lose a villager here. Little revenge and Saymyname! He can't get it! Are you kidding me, Viper? But wait, you've got another villager here. He will lose this one. And, well... Get her! No! Can't get her. Woof, what a crazy game. 1-1 now with the kills. We have archers on the way for Saymyname. By the way, though, Viper's had 35 seconds of TC idle time. And after it's all said and done here, Viper actually is behind in villagers. That's pretty crazy to see. Again, Viper, he built the blacksmith. He can't... I don't think he can afford fletching yet. I think he's idling his TC for fletching as we speak. But, that's a lot of TC idle time for the snake. That's minus 2 villagers just because of that. But he certainly deemed it worth it, right? Like, to get fletching here is going to smother Saymyname, because Saymyname is making archers for the Man-at-Arms, and now he's going to have skirms that have these upgrades. And he's probably going to be looking at this like, wait, what? How are you affording this? Again, the power spikes of Ethiopians is what Viper wanted to use here, and Viper with 2 easy kills there. Great spot for him to be in. Still not really creating villagers like that. He's housed now really badly. He's still housed. Still housed. Saymyname, if he knew Viper was housed like this, would continue to play. But it looks like he's going to die. He leaves his gold. What an interesting one. 2 minutes of TC idle time for Viper. That's insane. You just never see that. He's 5 villagers behind from what we... Oh my god! And the militia killed the vill on the farm, man. What a play from Saymyname, who's now 6 villagers up on the Viper. But he won't know that. He will not know that, and it's also not easy to ever push this back. And Viper says, F you, Robo, looks like we have to ban this guy from tournaments for disrespectful. Being disrespectful to the opposition. Obviously, Viper's trolling. All right, that's a sign of respect. All right. Saymyname's a troller boy as well, to be honest. All these guys are making jokes all the time. And wow, 6 villager lead, but can Saymyname keep his villagers alive now? Because this army is just so awkward to deal with. And Viper's micro is so good. 9-3 KD. Okay, here the gates going up. These archers are hitting vills. Got Skirm v Skirm over here. Ah, true. Fully upgraded. That's what Viper meant. He's giving him tips. He's saying, hey, get fully upgraded units next time. Man, those faster firing archers do make such an impact here. And the man-at-arms still have so much value. Saymyname needs to leave this woodline. I think so. Apparently, he doesn't need to leave the woodline. I would have left it. And now Viper's towered this one. The pressure is on from the snake. And overall, guys, I mean, his eco must be better. Even though he has less villas, I think his eco is better because of the amount of idle time Saymyname has had. He's had to move off of so many different resources. He's really struggled to get any control. I like the fight we're seeing in him, though. And I like the fact he's continuing to fight here because I think a lot of players would have felt overwhelmed and just called it. Not in Platinum League, though. Maybe, like, way down when Silver happens, you know, after the first season concludes and we have to do Silver to replace people in Gold. Still, we got some fighters there, but maybe there people resign early, but not here, man. Okay, now the Skirms have armor, so Viper's going to get another Vill pick, you'd think. He will. Yes, there you go. But at this point, the army that Saymyname has is so much stronger than Viper's. The man-at-arms are now gone. Skirmishers receive 1 damage from all Viper's archers. Doesn't matter how fast they fire, just a big problem. Behind this, though, are you kidding me? Viper making a stable. He knew it was going to happen. He saw the consistent skirm production. He knew exactly what that would mean. Pretty open at home, but he's waiting for the scouts. And it'll actually be interesting because if Saymyname is going to expect any scouts, he's going to start to make archers now. So he's making the archers now that he's back on gold, but he's not expecting the scout to come from here. And so now he has to add the spearmen, and now he's like, wait, what? And so Viper will play this game where he tries to snipe all the archers and all the spearmen so his scouts can hold. I don't know. I mean, with the hill here and the spearmen, I think Saymyname could actually do a pretty good job. It'd be fun to see this game go towards Castle Age. I mean, it feels like we're getting there. It all depends on if Viper can get value from his micro here. Again, spearmen to the side. Otherwise, it dies. Yup, big problems. This is exactly what we meant. Having that many skirmishers has now left Saymyname a little bit vulnerable. And now he has to leave his gold. Over here, by the way, Viper has 2 archers that are going to die to these skirms. Good work from Saymyname to track that. And in the end, he's still really close to clicking up. He is walled this way. So I think in theory, if he could just get enough gold to go Castle Age, he could maybe just hold. And Viper won't be able to kill any more vills. Because it seems to me like he does have enough archers in queue right now. And he does have enough food to click up. So he could be okay. It's just you don't want to lose too many vills. And the archers fire so fast. Oh, he's got so many weak ones in here. Hasn't lost any, though. Hasn't lost any. Actually impressive. As we have Viper using the market to buy some food. He clicks up and now Saymyname clicks up. What a great series, man. Honestly, a really sick series. 3-2 Eco KD. Very similar to what we saw in the first game. And Viper's scouts, the majority of them are now weak. So Saymyname will be okay. And Viper's stable. We'll see if that will even play an impact as the game goes on here. It's 14-13. Viper is behind in villagers because of the idle time. And Saymyname showing how good he is against someone like Viper. The Viper adding the other scouts certainly gives him more time. And I spoke too soon. I spoke way too soon. Viper's got a lot of range control. And guys, remember I talked about the power spikes of Ethiopians. Viper is going to want to utilize that more. Food and gold are going to come in for free. And now he picks off a couple more villagers. And now it's 39 villagers versus 38. So let's look at Viper's resource count. It would be pretty gutsy for Saymyname to run forward here. But he just wants to fight on the hill, and he's actually taking some really good fights. I would not be this confident. I would have just avoided the hill, because I'd be terrified. Feels like Viper being up 10 to 20 seconds faster is going to make a big difference here, because then he can have a knight out around the time that Saymayname's getting his upgrades. Viper's still forward. He doesn't have the stone to be able to drop a town center. He's producing out of one range at home. And one stable on the front. So I guess it's going to be siege, yeah. Siege knight is maybe what he's thinking. And Saymyname going to run forward. This is actually a bit of a counter to what Viper's trying to do here. And Saymyname needs a TC right away on this gold. You need to protect that gold as fast as possible. But, you know, what Viper's doing is he has to track this with this army, which means he's going to have one knight. Will the knight be enough? Yes, the knight will be enough. I don't think Saymyname knows the stable's there yet. Does he know? He does know. Maybe he didn't expect it. Viper snipes a weak Vil. Saymyname's still looking to run forward to Viper's base, though, which means Viper has to pull back. But again, it's just a whole lot of pressure from Viper on Saymyname. Maybe a TC over here for Saymyname. Maybe you give up this gold. And maybe you just fall back here. Viper doesn't have Bodkin yet, so he's fighting with 6 range. And it's 8 range for the crossbows here. But Viper's knights are going to get value here. And it's putting a lot of focus on Saymyname's micro. Saymyname doesn't know the siege is going to be coming in. And so, again, I think the move here, again, I'm casting, right? Oh, God, the timing on this is so brutal. I was going to say, I think the move is actually to fall back to the other golds. Obviously, he could still do that. And look at him. He's going in for the siege here. But in doing so, he's going to sacrifice villagers. So Viper is going to get shots off with the siege. Here he's also getting kills. And Viper's going to deny the TC. And this is all so worth it for the Viper. Now, in the end, Viper is going to lose his knights. But the Eco KD has risen. And there's more siege. And oh, God. And Saymyname still had to micro this as well. And his micro, this should be an easy kill for him now. Yeah, okay, good micro. And another split. Whoop! Okay, not the best, but he takes out, in the end, a couple knights and some siege. Still has this army around. And you should probably calm down because he does have 2 TCs to produce Vils. Which means, as he micros again against Viper, could take out some more siege from Viper. This means that Viper will probably not have a big villager lead. That's 3 mangonels that have gone down now. Wow. Again, Viper didn't have the second TC. He's now going for ballistics, it seems. Saymyname could definitely recover from here, I'd say. Ethiopian Knights do not scale all that well. Oh, God, but this is just a big misplay. No, no, no. He knows it, too. He's like, wait a second. That's a bad move. We got to rewall this fast. Well, at least he noticed, right? Because the idea to place the TC there was correct. I think he just needs to pull his crossbows back over this way. And he's going to place a town center there. And again, I said this wood line is actually bad for him. I think the last thing, though, that I would ever expect from Viper in this type of position is ballistics. Because he only has 10 crossbows. I would just be expecting Viper to boom. And the problem here is going to be Viper could kill insane amounts of villagers or army with this in a second. And Saymyname is really struggling. He's like, do I go forward? Forward would actually be the right idea. But Viper's just on him constantly. He cannot breathe. And now Viper has ballistics. So let's see. He does have some weak crossbows here. So let's see. Okay, he loses 2 just like that. He loses another one. So, I mean, hype over for the ballistics train. And yeah, I mean, Saymyname's looking okay. 49 villagers versus the 52 from Viper. Obviously, Viper has had a lot better worker efficiency. We could actually see that here. Worker efficiency last minute is in the middle. Worker efficiency overall is on the right. But Saymyname does have as many crossbows as Viper, if not more. He will have 3 town centers. He does have stone. He does have gold. And this game will go on. Anyone else really hyped about Saymyname's play here? I'm pretty freaking hyped about it. because it's been 2 games where he's held on in situations where a lot of other players would have died. Like in Feudal Age's last game, looked like he was going to lose 4 villagers, ended up holding. Now, I also think he could have won the first game if he would have had 5 more knights in that one attack. Now he's getting ballistics. It's 59 versus 59 with fills. It's 19 versus 19 with army. Let's go. Again, the faster firing speed does not excite me if it is crossbow v crossbow. I'd love to see Saymyname just have the confidence to move forward, though. He seems... That seems to be the thing for him now. Is Viper's just controlled the game so much, he's really uncertain on what to do. Yeah, they both do patrol into each other here, and there's no micro involved. So Viper's going to lose his army, but he's currently over here. And it's tricky for Saymyname now because he doesn't want to make knights because there's crossbows, and he doesn't want to make siege because there's knights from Viper. So Viper does have a step up there. But Saymyname says, who needs knights when I can just use my 8-range crossbows to kill everything you've got? And that seems to be his plan right now. And great move from Viper. He's like, okay, I'm going to pull you away from the important area then, if that's going to be the case. And there he comes with the knights. So good from Viper. It should lead to these crossbows having to be pulled back. And some quick walls from Saymyname as he runs over here. And Viper has to garrison, which means Viper can't take his gold. But Saymyname with the good reactions. He's got the walls down. But now there's still... You notice what Viper did there. I mean, he distracts him. And now he comes right back on the hill. And such an important hill to have as well. I think you have to go for a Siege Workshop if you're Saymyname. If there's one Mangonel, I can understand having the confidence. But I think you have to go for the Siege Workshop. Viper adding more ranges. And the crossbows could sneak into Viper's economy. Oh, my word. Viper's feeling like a god right now, and I don't blame him. But look at this. He's going to lose quite a few villagers here. And by quite a few, I mean 1. Make it 2. And then also the crossbow mass is so high for Saymyname right now. It's incredible. But he has to keep his TC up. And he's repairing with the repair hockey, which is such a bad move. If you repair with the repair hockey, the villagers, they clump like that. If you right-click it, they repair on the outer ring. Full garrison. Viper could lose his Mangonel to the TC. He does. Oh, God. Saymyname. Stop using the repair hockey. If you don't do that, you're fine. He's lost so many villagers, and here he comes. He's now going to fight with villagers. The other ones are going to repair, and he still has this this army microing against Viper, excuse me. But in the end, he will take the Mangonel. Viper's going to lose it, and he could lose his crossbows, and then Viper still has to deal with this, and we have an incredible game here. 100 villagers for Saymyname, who barely squeaked in based on tournament rankings to the top 24. But you can't say he doesn't deserve it. And oh my God, yeah, style. Style on him. Let's go. Flex on him. He's like, this is the area where you walled my militia in. I remember that. How's this make you feel? Huh? How's this make you feel? Which villagers did that to my friends? You know, they're going right back to the gold. Viper's probably going to clear it up anyways. But there's a new crossbow force. During that micro, Viper lost all of this as well. Viper has now fallen off completely with control. And Saymyname is on the way to Viper's base with a new mass. Again, the important thing here, I mean, it's a play all 3. Even if you get 3-0'd here, you're still going to be fine to be able to compete over the next groups. But, guys, if you consider Viper the better player here, which I think most people will, if he loses a game to Saymyname, that might actually have a big impact later on in the group. It might have a great impact for Saymyname later on if, let's say, it's really close for him to stay alive and he needs a couple extra victories. Obviously, whoever he might be competing with at whatever stage of the group might also have to play Viper. So just things to think about in this type of format. And oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, we have a castle going up here, and Saymyname just says, screw your siege. He uses 3 crossbows to take out another Mangonel from Viper. And to be fair, I guess Viper hasn't even noticed it, as he's just rolling home right now, and Saymyname's just wrecking him. So this is a player who used to be known as Yellow, and then he changed his name to Saymyname a couple years ago. People still do refer to him as Yellow from time to time. He has to run away now because Viper has the elite skirm. And this is an important moment. I think if he can get away here and not lose the rest of his crossbows, he's fine. But if he loses them... Okay, that's good micro. If he loses them, Viper starts to even things out a bit more. And yeah, he needs to get his own siege out right now. Viper having a lead skirm and the faster firing crossbows now is simply too much for just crossbows. 33 on food for Viper, though. His food eco is actually incredible throughout this. Getting wheelbarrow now, something that Saymyname doesn't have. And we're going to see Saymayname's farm count go higher as well, don't get me wrong. He's on 4 town centers now, and he's actually been able to sneak away with this group of crossbows. Sending another group over here to hit Viper, and now Viper's probably struggling to find ways to do damage to this guy. But again, how Saymyname didn't crumble, I'll never know. It was such an impressive display from him. And yeah, in theory, Viper could loop over here, but Viper's more exposed, and we're seeing it now. Saymyname hitting Viper here. Saymyname also going to loop in here, but I don't think he can actually hit anything. Really big loop for Viper. This is interesting, man. And he's even bringing the siege with him. And I don't think Saymyname will ever expect this. It's a very weird thing to loop around like this, especially when you're making a castle on the front of your base. Viper's going to be looking at this, and if he notices it, that is, and he's like, is he actually going to deny this, or is he going to turn around? And, yep, he notices, and he says, crap. And now, Saymyname is able to just kind of camp this and say, haha, where's your army? And look at this. I mean, this is not something you see every day from Viper. This is a clear mistake. There was no opportunity to do damage here. Should have just protected himself at home, and I think he would have been fine. He is making life more awkward for himself than he really needed to. So Viper here, he says, okay, I'll show you what I can do. And let's see. We should see an attack round on the side. That's normally the move, because you expect the split from Viper. Okay, here come the villagers. You gotta... The biggest thing here, I think, is actually keeping the crossbow mass alive. It's not even just killing the skirms. It's just getting out of here with whatever crossbows you can. And Viper says, whatever you can do, I can do too. Maybe not as pretty there as he does take a shot, but at the end of the day, he does trade versus crossbows. He'll finish his castle, and he'll be on his way to in. So, guys, remember what I mentioned about how Britons are even more flexible in this stage. Britons get the final armor upgrade on their cav. And Viper's going to see this now. This is be interesting. Viper will probably make more crossbows, but he's going to see the stable switch with this small group. Now, this I like. The whole group with the siege running to this side, I didn't like. But this is good. But, you know, what do you do if it is going to be light cav raids from Saymyname? Saymyname's going to try and complete a castle here for map control. And he's even got some crossbows here as well. I mean, this is going to go super late. And listen, I don't want to say that this is... I don't want to exaggerate. You know, it's the first series in the Platinum League, T90 Titans League, you know, event I spent months working on. I really believe in, blah, blah, blah. So I don't want to exaggerate. It's possible this could be an exaggeration. But has this not been one of the best Arabia games that you've seen in a hot minute? This is really, really good. Listen, I watch a lot of Arabia, and I cast a lot of tournaments. Again, for the reasons I mentioned, maybe, just maybe, there's some, you know, slight bias in this because it's the debut of the T90 Titans League. But this game is fantastic, man. This game is fantastic. Look at Viper's Monk. He's like, oh, I love God. I'm going to get relics. What? He actually noticed that, but the crossbows get additional range for Britons. And Saymyname was camping that, but now you have Viper heading over there with the skirms. And he, too, places a castle very defensive. This is a great game, but I do think that Saymyname has the edge. He has had more army for a while now. His economy is even looking stronger, and I do also think he's got the slight edge in terms of the initiative here. Obviously, getting the upgrades before Viper has done a lot here, as Viper has to now send villagers to the other areas, and Viper is pretty clearly going to be in need of skirmishers. Now, we already have a trebuchet here from Saymyname, and I think he's going to send his light cav here. But, guys, did he forget that he gets any blacksmith upgrades for his cav? Because I'm worried about that fact. The fact that he doesn't have any blacksmith upgrades for his cav is super weird. Viper's getting conscription here. And when he completes chemistry, he'll be able to make bombard cannons. Okay, finally, he's getting scale barding armor. That was, like, super late. I feel like scale barding could have been in on the way to Imp. Even +2 armor could have been in on the way to Imp. Kind of hoping for Saymyname that doesn't end up hurting him. But he's even got Trebs over here. So he's got Trebs on both Viper castles. And Viper was going to deal with this one, but I don't know if Viper can deal with this one at the same time. He can't repair 2 castles. Is Viper going to lose a game in his first series in T90 Titans League against a player who actually has surprised him in the past? King of the Desert 4. Viper was down 2 games to Saymyname and had to come back to win 3-2, if I recall. Now Viper's Skirm Army's looking pretty good, though, because the final armor will be in. Saymyname realizes this and has to back away to his Trebs. Also, we'll need to get repairs in on his Trebs, because Viper's trying to Treb down the Trebs. That's another thing you could talk about, too, how Britons are better off there. Man, if Saymyname doesn't get the final armor in, though, on his cav, he could end up losing more cav than he ever should here. Like, this is a really big deal. He does... No, he doesn't take out the castle, excuse me. Viper might take out some Trebs here. Viper takes out one of them and may even take out the next. These villagers were sent to repair the other Treb. So they are not moving now because the Treb's gone. More light cav coming forward. Again, they're melting, man. Because he doesn't have the armor. They're melting and Viper holds. Viper actually holds on this time. And now he has bombard cannons. Now he will probably lose 1 or 2 of those bombard cannons. But what a great hold for Viper. And Saymyname just needs to be... You need to be so perfect to get the victories in these types of situations. He needs to be a little bit wiser and more timely with his upgrades. But I guess in the end, he does take out this castle from the Viper. He is getting more upgrades. And maybe he has the luxury to just back up on one of these sides for a second and breathe. Here he is with the light cav having that mobility. Viper's Treb's exposed. Viper's Treb will go down. Light cav surrounding it could also go down. Big problems for the snake. He's trying to get that death ball rolling of bombard cannons, though. He does have a really high population at the moment, but he doesn't have a ton of control. Though he's hoping to change that because he can take the stone and the gold here, which will be a big deal. Little Arbalest raid here for Viper. That shouldn't go too far either because you've got skirms here. So I think with the TC garrison or just the skirms, you're fine. It would be annoying if Saymyname doesn't notice a couple arbs getting by there, but I'm just going to assume he does. And now he's dropping a castle here. But Viper has the death ball, guys. Viper has the death ball. He's got bombard cannons, the faster firing arbs, and the skirms. And Saymyname deletes that. You know, he can't take this gold at the moment. And I don't know if he has this gold scouted. Let me see. He doesn't have that gold scouted, guys. So Viper's got this gold locked down now. He's got this gold he could still take. And he's got this death ball. And Viper could still do this. And I can't help but feel like a lot of this came down to, or has come down to, the lack of blacksmith upgrades from Saymyname. He prioritized the right units. He even did the right things, I think. Trying to pressure this castle, for example, was really good. But he's struggling now. And Viper goes for Torsen engines. He says, I'm not finished yet. And so now not only the arbs fire faster, but the siege does more splash damage. This is tough to kill. This is really, really tough to kill. This is tough to kill for any civilization. What Britons would have to do against this typically is use their mobility with the cav to try and raid, which we're not necessarily seeing. And Viper's even thinking about that himself. Little army over here for Viper will get cleared up. Yeah, Saymyname is building up Treb numbers to hit this castle. But he also needs to build up army numbers to defend this castle. And he's going to have to repair this. And this is... I mean, I'm just waiting for one big shot from Viper, and those skirms are going to disappear. This needs to be repaired massively. Also, no masonry. I mean, you know, Viper's already on siege engineers. A very expensive university technology. Viper's Treb was just waiting for this. And now he realizes it. And we'll see what he ends up doing. I think he's just going to give it up. Get ready. Because when Torsen Engines hits, it's going to be insane. But guys, Saymyname has 0 villagers on gold. It's a crazy thing. He doesn't see any gold he can take. He's going to be fighting with just trash units. And he had to sell so he could get the final armor on the light cav, which is a really good move, by the way. He needs to do that. Can you imagine, though, if he saw this gold? Oh, man. And look at Viper's Arbalest. This guy's scouting it. Viper knows. He knows. He's got the scouting on that. He also has 3 relics, so he knows maybe if he doesn't have gold, I'm okay. But the Lycav and the Arbalest from Saymyname are actually heading towards the monastery, so Viper might need to lock that down. He is going to have a ranged army there. And he still hasn't been able to take this castle out. And I love what we're about to see from Saymyname. I love this idea. Again, with the upgrades being late, it does hurt. But the idea is it'll be more awkward for Viper to fight in this position if he's getting raided on 2 sides. So he's trying to spread his wings to fly a little bit here. And here he goes. And here he's going to try as well. See, like now Viper's distracted. That's the theory. And now he goes in. But I don't know if you go in against Torsen engines. He didn't know until now that Viper had Torsen engines. What a disaster. What a disaster. And Viper even has the Vills there too, repairing the cannons. Still, though, the raid is here. We still have Trebs as well. And now it's tough for Saymyname because he needs to raid with some stuff, but he also has to defend with everything kind of at the same time. Now getting Masonry and getting Hoarding, so his castle will have even more HP. Stables from Viper, though. He is prepping Hussar, guys. And even though I've stated that Ethiopians do not get the final armor upgrade, Viper actually has units that are pretty much the same strength because of having Hussar and also having some of the attack upgrades. And wow, what a game, man. What a game. It would be so gut-wrenching for Saymyname to lose this. But to me, it feels like it's getting there, and it all comes down to this castle. But again, Saymyname, he's losing all of his skirms. Torsen Engines is just insane. Also, is it possible that Saymyname doesn't know that skirmishers aren't affected by Yeoman? Because that's a pretty expensive technology to go in for right now. And yeah, Saymyname is going to lose everything on this side. Viper's been extremely patient. He hasn't bit at all. There's been instances where Saymyname will try and force Viper's hand in other areas, hoping that Viper would be distracted here. But he just continues to remain consistent. And his economy seems in the better spot. He's got the relics. He has some gold income to work with. Saymyname does not. And yet now Saymyname's starting to lose his forces here. This might be Saymyname realizing that this will be over if he doesn't take an engagement soon. And so here he is. I mean, in theory, if he can just snipe the ARBs, suddenly the light cab become a whole lot more effective. Viper only has 24 ARBs. So if he could back away now, just back away, back away, back away, after killing some ARBs, maybe it's better. But my worry now is, now Viper gets to raid a little bit, as he will do a loop-de-loop, and I'm sure that then Saymyname's not going to have an answer. And what Viper has had against the Light Cav has been Arbalest. What Saymyname has against Light Cav, or Hussars, I guess, would be his own Light Cav. He hasn't been making ARBs because he doesn't have gold income. So, yeah, just big problems right now for poor Saymyname. And I can't help but feel like this gold would have changed everything. 49 food is more than enough for Light Cav. Is someone saying it's not enough? It's more than enough. The problem is he has to make skirms and Light Cav. That's the issue. Viper doesn't really have to rely on that as much. The Viper's not spending as much food. Now, I know everyone likes to be like, 80 farm, Light Cav spam. Yeah, I know that that happens. But no, his farming eco is actually fine. But it's the fact that it's skirms and Light Cav and then lacking upgrades. And Viper's Death Ball is just so hard to stop. And wow, at 170 pop, Saymyname calls it. He kind of knows how this is going. He sees Viper's building a castle here. He's getting raided here, and he just knows, I can't hit him anywhere. If he were to show up here, I'm not a big fan of that GG timing, personally. I like to see players fight on a little bit more, but I do understand it. He feels like there's castles everywhere he goes for Viper now, and Viper's just going to have his way with him and raid him, and this Death Ball is just going to loop over and start to take this out. He just felt so hopeless in this situation, I imagine, and had to call it. Man, I feel like, okay, 2 things changed this game, though. I'm gutted for ACCM. What a great series. Viper gets the win. I think what makes the difference here is if this gold is spotted, that this gold would have done so much. And then also, Saymyname, if he would have had his armor upgrades coming in while he was on his way to Imp. Because, let me go back, excuse me. Okay, they're not on the way to Imp yet. Sorry, I don't remember the exact moments. It's got to be somewhere around here. Yeah, like at this stage, he's getting the stables out. He's got enough on food. This is the standard time to start getting those upgrades. And, I mean, he's getting the stable upgrades, but he didn't have the blacksmith upgrades. And it felt like there were a couple fights, and I keep calling him ACCM, apparently. I don't even know. My brain just is saying the same thing for me. Sorry. But Saymyname, he had the position, and there were just a couple fights where his light cap didn't contribute quite as much. I think that, and then spotting this gold with an outpost would have made a really big difference for him. And it's just the small things, right? Saymyname has the skill to put Viper in that type of position, but Viper obviously able to finish it off in the end. Viper goes up 2-0. But this small stuff is so hard to focus on when you have to do so many different things. There's the total resources collected. What a game. What a game. And I should say, because I don't know exactly how we're doing this here, I know this full best of is going to the T90 Extras YouTube channel and straight into the T90 Titans League playlist on the main YouTube channel if you want to find all the action. But I think since this series is new, I think this is going to be an individual game that hits YouTube. So to everyone who hasn't heard about T90 Titans League, this is part of a reoccurring series, promotion, relegation, and Age of Empires 2. So check out the full best of in the description. Check out the playlist. We'll have plenty more. But what a great game. We'll have one more game. It is play all three. And we'll see if Viper can win that one as well. Or if Saymyname can finally get a win on the board here. Okay. Fantastic start to T90 Titans. A fantastic start. I've been really happy with the game so far in this set. And we have one of my favorite all-time maps with many tweaks we've made over the years. Gold Rush. Viper's going to be blending in here. It's a very deserty terrain. Viper playing as the Mayans. This is actually his first civilization pick. So clearly he believes in the Mayans here. And then we have the Hindustanis for Saymyname, who I can't help but feel a little gutted for because game one, he definitely had his chances. Game two, I mean, I think he could have won that game for sure. And Viper doing Viper things, holding on, playing for the late game a little bit better, and getting the victory. But it does show because, again, I think Saymyname was something like 23rd or 24th in the total 24 pool for Platinum. So in theory, this is the worst player that was brought into the top league, and it does show how good he freaking is. And I always think he's been underrated, but still, I mean, it's a great sign of things to come for him. This could be probably his hardest matchup that he'll play in Group A. Hindustanis, I mean, formerly the Indians have received a lot of changes. They seem to be a whole lot better now. Civilization, which was already strong in the Indians, was given 3 or 4 separate things that made them even stronger now. So some people questioning that. I actually was hoping for nerfs to this civilization prior to the league starting, but that didn't happen. And one of the things that has made this civ strong, which immediately came to my mind, is the Gulam. The Gulam is the new unique unit. You can see it up here. And it's basically an Eagle Warrior. But they also have a bonus against other Eagle Warriors, I think. Or it's something like that. So anyways, the Gulam is a very cheap anti-archer unit. And Mayans are usually making Eagles and Archers. So I think the go-to unit for the Hindustanis is the Gulam. Because if Mayans are only going to make Eagles and Archers, and I guess Skirmishers, the Gulam counters all of that. But the thing is, Gold Rush is very exposed. And while you do typically see a lot of walls, I don't know how easy it is to get to the Gulam. And I know it will be a lot simpler for Viper to play into Archers and Eco this game. So, sure, I think the Civ's potential is there. I can kind of see what Saymyname is going for here. But, I mean, this stone, I guess, would have to be walled in. I just don't see a fast castle into Gulam being the most realistic thing. So, maybe a Scout Rush could work here. Again, fairly open map. You have 7 tiles of gold to work with at your base. This is very far away from Saymyname. This 4-tile gold, I guess, is a dream, though. And Viper looking to wall up. And actually, Viper's base looks... Well, his 3-tile gold is actually out here. So I guess both players' 3-tile golds are pretty far. But I still prefer Viper's base because if he full walls this bad boy... He's got a good gold. He's got a stone inside. And this wood line here is really beneficial for him. Yeah, that's all he's going to do. So I have seen quite a few Gold Rush games. And The more people have played Gold Rush, the more they just want to rush for Fast Castle. We'll see what the plan is here for Saymyname and what his preparation's been like.
Yes.
Gulam has very high Pierce armor. It seems like a Civ win if it comes so far. Again, like, if there was a unit you could make out of the barracks or, like, the archer range that would accomplish what the Gulam does, yeah, maybe then you can start talking, okay, this could be Civ win. But Mayans start with 1 extra villager. Mayan resources last longer. Their archers are very cheap. The opportunity comes to go Eagle and to go Archer before we even see Gulams. So personally, I think I would actually prefer the Mayans for Gold Rush. Now, if it was Arabia, I think I might possibly prefer the Hindustanis. That's where it gets tricky. Because on Arabia, you tend to see a bit more in the way of aggression. At least Viper doesn't want to be aggressive here, you can see. And he's just going to wall up. Right now, it looks like a fast castle from him, but Saymyname. He sees the walls, and he might realize the situation here. So if you're going to go scouts, you might have to go forward as well. Now, here's what I forgot to talk about with you guys. So we have lions in the middle, right? So there's the opportunity for wolf rushing, or lion rushing, I guess. Woo, 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 rah, 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 whatever. So the way this is situated, you do have to scout a little bit, but they shouldn't be in the areas between the player bases. You see this? So that's very important because other versions of Gold Rush will have them in the middle and on the sides. And so if players go forward with villagers or they try and go man-at-arms, they end up losing their villagers, or at least like losing HP, or even just getting slowed down when trying to run out across the map. And so the opportunity is there to forward. But again, is Saymyname aware of exactly what I just said? Because he's going to go forward. He should know to scout and know to avoid certain areas, but I just don't know if he's done that. That's not straightforward exactly. You'd have to run through the middle and not along the side is essentially what I'm saying. Okay, so at least he'll see these lions, but again, this does slow him down. He's making the stable at home. And here come the villagers now. And yeah, to me, it feels like this is a pretty big deal, right? Like, this is a lot of extra time for Viper. But at the end of the day, I don't think Viper goes fast castle off this. I don't think he can afford it. I think it's to have to wall that much and have villagers walling and not collecting resources for so long to not be able to take this hunt. I don't know. I feel like he's going to be in a spot where he can play defensive, but there's no way he can go fast castle off this. So we'll see. How does Viper have more eco units, but idle TC is only 4 seconds for Saymyname? Well, remember, Viper didn't age up at the same time, right? So this is evening out now. Again, Saymyname having a horrible time tracking these lions. I debated just removing the lions, but I feel like it's an important part of Gold Rush. And also, like, just look at the map script and you kind of know how you could address things. And you do have to pay attention to that. Viper with his eagle here will lose it, so he'll have no vision. And this is interesting because this tower is actually in a position where Viper does not see it. And he knows his opponent has gone scouts. This is intentional, guys. So what it is, the idea is to complete the tower and then attack the walls. So it's Viper's not walling behind because there's nothing attacking. And then when he goes to try and wall behind, he's going to have a tower up already, which is going to make this really complicated for Viper. I think he needs to wall like this. Boom, boom, boom. Just immediately wall this way. See, look. Now he's like, oh, yeah, I'll repair it. Oh, wait, I can't do that. What do I do now? And now he starts to freak out a little bit. And he does actually click up to cast lead. So correct me for being wrong. Or forgive me for being wrong on that. No need to correct me. Yeah, now the scouts come in. And Viper doesn't even have a military building. So if these scouts run through, I think they should just run right through. They can get a lot of damage in on Viper. And this is so annoying for Viper. And so good for Saymyname. Viper picked this as a home map. Was this his strategy? Was his strategy to just leave himself so exposed like this? Oh, AC. I mean, Saymyname, man. Now your scouts are trapped. Was it worth it? Now your scouts are trapped. Viper, stop doing him like this, man. He's playing well. He deserves at least a taste of victory again. honestly still think it's pretty worth it here for Saymyname at the end of the day, because he may make his scouts out. Viper's going to be trying to boom. There's no way Viper can be offensive here. And the villagers are still here. We could still see a tower on the gold. The scouts might end up making it out. This is super greed from the Viper. Just now getting the wood upgrade. I think not being able to be on berries actually hurts him a lot. He just had to buy food to get the farm upgrade. And what's his plan here? I like the amount of scout control that Saymyname has, as again, he just loops through. And Viper says, nope. And Saymyname says, okay, it was just a prank, bro. It's just a prank, man. Viper was able to kill a lot there. Okay, so now, I mean, unless another scout comes in, Viper could kind of fight some of this off with villagers, honestly. Again, he doesn't see the tower, and this will make things complicated. The tower will go up in garrison, and Viper needs to get out, but nice quick walling there from Viper. Again, he doesn't actually have that many scouts here, Saymyname, but he has denied this gold. And Viper's other gold is over here, guys. And Saymyname sees it. Yo. So before anyone says, well, hey, listen, that gold is outside the walls there, mister. All right? That gold is outside the walls there. That is unfair to Mr. Snake. Dude, you've got this gold out here for Saymyname. And Viper, you've got to play towards some type of map control, right? Chose not to. Clearly thinking about a castle, though. This is going to make things interesting because he's very heavy on stone. So I think his thought process is either A, make a castle at home and have it clear up the tower and then take his gold at home. Or the more extreme option, he might run towards the middle to drop that castle. Now, meanwhile, we have some villagers on stone for Saymyname. And Viper's going to try and drop the TC here because he sees the scouts are on the outer side. And so now Saymyname's not going to like that. And Saymyname is going to try and run in here again. And he's just going to take this hunt here. And yeah, Viper's like, yeah, I don't like that idea. I'm going to place houses here. And you mean, how many times have we seen it, right? You know, Viper under pressure ends up making it happen. And in the end, his TC will go up. And this is actually the best way for him to take care of the tower. He's lost 2 villagers, but he's also created more because he's got the TCs. And he will garrison here, and the scouts need to run away. And I'd be a little disappointed with myself if I was Saymyname that I left with the scouts. I understand what he was thinking. But I think if he had the scouts here, this would have never happened. Viper will probably have the villager lead by the time Saymyname makes it to the next stage. Nah, I don't think rushing fletching for the tower actually makes much sense here, Patrick. I see what you're saying, but at the end of the day, Viper, if there's no scouts, Viper's not going to lose a build to that. But I do like the positioning from Saymyname. He's basically like, all right, let's just make it more awkward for him to come to the middle here. And, well, I mean, he's in a position to drop town centers, and his villagers are very cheap with his civ. And we talked about being on stone, right? So he does have stone income. But there's a special little bonus that plumed archers have that people always seem to forget. Plumed archers, regular plumed archers have +1 attack against infantry. So they have a bonus attack against infantry. And that can be helpful against anti-archer infantry. And then elite plumed archer has +2 attack. So I don't know how much damage a fully upgraded plume would end up doing against a fully upgraded Gulam, because I'd have to do the math. I imagine, I mean, you're still not really going to want, as Viper builds a gate here, to have only plumes. But I do think that mass plumes, especially if you have a lead... Viper's just being ridiculous right now. I do think that mass plumes are actually pretty good. But again, in the end, I think it's going to be about gold control. And I like this castle from Viper. Look at his economy right now. And he's pretty far ahead right now. With the Vil count... Not necessarily with the eco upgrades. You're in a position now, if you're Saymyname, where you feel like, well, I don't know what I make against the plumes just yet. And he's on 3 town centers, so I need to catch up. And so he places this TC. I was kind of thinking he would go for the 3rd. He might actually with these villagers right here in the middle. You've got no army. He's adding a camel. Okay, well, okay, Viper is looking for the villagers here. And Saymayname's doing a great job at tracking it, too. He's almost making it seem like he's over here and Viper's looking for him. It's tricky, man. I think when you're behind an eco, placing the TC in the middle doesn't feel too good. And again, Viper can still take the gold, too. So that's the thing with our version of Gold Rush is Viper could, in theory, town center this. And then you could have the same for Saymyname, and both players can be taking the middle gold. The other versions of Gold Rush you'll see don't have that. And he's made a camel because he needs something. He can't make a knight with this civ, right? And it does attack faster, but it was just something. And I think Viper's just going to be loving life right now. I think Viper will say, oh, great. I'll just place my next castle in the middle. Keep making plumed archers. You have no option against me unless you start making gulams. And another game where Viper soaks up the pressure seems to have a good game plan. And we now have Siege as the choice for Saymyname. Viper's just going to batter down this tower now. I don't think it'd be a good idea to castle drop this because you can't really castle drop this hill. It has to be on flat ground-ish. The closest you could probably place it is here. But you are right. There is a chance that Viper wants to drop the castle in a way that wins the game right now. That is not a very Viper thing to do, though. The safe play is always to just drop a castle here, maintain your lead, and work your way towards your long term. This might be a fourth town center, actually, for Viper. Maybe it's both. Maybe he goes castle and then town center. But 4 TCs with Mayans is not something you see that frequently. Just now getting fletching as well here, Viper. And, oh boy. Okay, this will be interesting. So Saymyname could actually see the castle foundation because of his mill. And he gets a good shot there, too. Viper's just like, please don't come over here. He's waiting. And waiting. And now getting Bod Canero. And yeah, his castle should complete. Funny how T90 asks questions and doesn't look at chat for answers, just T90 things. I do that a lot, to be honest. Are you casting more after this? Just finished work and don't want to talk to the wife. I looked at chat and that's what I saw. That's funny. Yeah, we do have more streaming after this. I'm going to be doing Loyal Legends after this. Okay, another TC for Saymyname. I like the 4th TCs from his position because villagers are dirt cheap with his civ. I really like that. And I also like the thought process from Saymyname, which is to house wall up and stonewall up at home because you're most vulnerable at home if you're going to castle and siege in the middle. There's also a world where this could kind of be a race to the Imperial Age at this point. I mean, we've got castles that will be up. And if I was Saymyname, I'd be staring at my gold count right now thinking, should I buy food to go imp? But it's really complicated because you don't want to buy food. Because if you buy food, that... He's buying a little bit, right? But that will give more gold in return for someone who sells food later. Which is actually a really big thing on Gold Rush. You see that a lot. So I actually think that the imp times will be close. But Viper, at the moment, has army that makes more sense. And remember, his army does not cost food and gold like the Gulam does. So Viper benefited from gaining his lead. Yeah, I figured Choo-Choo Train. The sleeping thing is a joke. Like, for me, I watch certain content creators and certain things right before bed, like after a long day. So it makes sense. I mean, I've fallen asleep to some content creators as well. I joke when I say I'm offended, you know, that people fall asleep to my content. But that just means that people just want to watch my content, you know, after a long day. Or right before, you know, they go off to bed. So it's something they look forward to, and I like that. Imp for Saymyname. Viper about to go imp as well, but Viper's got an army that scales super well here. This has always been the Mayan thing, right? You want to invest as little as possible with the plume builds. even delay your upgrades as long as possible. Multiple castles, and it just flows from there. Your army production's always going to be solid. Your castles are just going to continue to go up. For Saymyname, he now has to place a castle at home because he knows he can't deal with these plumes. And the truth is, he can't deal with these plumes. The 2 mangonels would not be enough against Viper with plumed archers. Plumed archers are that good against siege, and they're so mobile. So Viper will see this, and he just wants to force that. As long as he doesn't make a mistake here. Oh man, so unfortunate for Saymyname. Yeah, he's gonna be okay. So the plumes have 7 attack, but they have +1 bonus damage against infantry. The Ghulams right now have 4 pierce armor. It's not a lot. An elite Ghulam's expensive, and then you need your castles too. So I think Viper was just gonna sit right between his castles, make trebs, and say, "Bring it. What do you have?" Because otherwise, I'm gonna treb you right out of the middle here. Oh my god! Well, Viper's not gonna have as much. Let's rewatch that one. Here he comes. Oof. And to his credit, I mean, he did turn around, but it was the difference between getting hit in the back or getting hit in the face. It's still painful. And wow, that's a lot of weak plumed archers in there. 369 HP out of 800. Yikes. Again, though, 3 castles. Still has lots of plumes, but that certainly makes things look a little better for Saymyname. And what you do if you're Saymyname is you do not go into a treb war. Because you have units that can snipe trebs. Viper doesn't really have that. So the hope here is you can get to enough Ghulams. That's the hope. And I would say if you can afford it, try and get a university up to research masonry. Just anything to beef up your castle. So good Viper, by the way. Herbal medicine. He was one of the players that used to do this before they buffed it. This is going to heal up the units inside the castles now. Doesn't it increase the healing rate by like 4 times or something? It won't take that long because plumes don't have that much HP. So great move from him. And look at Saymyname. I love this recognition. He knows Viper's trying to pick off reinforcements right now. The Viper, by the way, was able to snag 2 relics this whole time. And okay, now Elite Ghulams on the way. Again, this is the unit we got excited about. Let's see. Viper still doesn't have Elite Plume. These things have 5 pierce armor right now. Now it's 8 pierce armor. Woo-wee! So that's max pierce armor. And it doesn't look too hot for the plumes right now. Viper's over here with the other plumes. Now he is distracting so he can use his trebs. So Saymyname's positioning of his units is going to be crucial here. Let's see how these Ghulams perform. And Viper doesn't have Elite Plumed Archer. And the Ghulams have a bonus against Eagles. So Viper is starting to drop off. And there are the trebs. And the Hindustanis, man. There's a reason Saymyname had picked them. I knew it would be pretty complicated to get to this point. But credit to Saymyname. Even though Viper's made the defense look easy at times, he did get to this position, which is what he wanted this whole time. Scorpion, whatever. That doesn't matter right now. What matters is this. The trebuchets. And Viper says, not today. I'm going to make a gate here. I'm going to make a gate there. I'm going to gate it all. And I want to take your castle out. And look at Saymyname. He's actually going for the outpost. So Viper needs to wall behind the outpost here. But the castle fire is going to help a lot against the Ghulams. And Viper makes a wall now. And in the end, Viper's plumes are still in a really high number. And the castle fire has played the biggest role in this. What a sick play from Viper. I think the castle positions first were really intelligent. And then just understanding that the Ghulams were going to have to die for the trebs. This has made Saymyname's life so much more difficult now. Does land a little bit of a shot here. But again, if the Ghulams aren't cutting it, what is going to actually work? Because the plumes aren't even in final form yet. They are elite, excuse me. So let's actually see. I mean, they're still really strong, man. Saymyname. His biggest issue is going to be castle numbers, which will lead to a problem when it comes to the Ghulam numbers. But he still can take gold if he gets his TC down. Viper is going to make another castle now. Really like how he walled this off. This is such a clutch play from him. It should lead to him taking out the castle. I don't see how it doesn't. But we'll see. I'd love to see Saymyname maybe raid Viper's economy a little bit. It's the last thing you think about, though, in this type of position. I also really like how he's going to take this stone. And here he is. He's going to take this fight against Viper. But he's out of stone now, and he's going for siege elephants. Dang, man. Any other archer unit, Viper stands no chance, right? I think, well, okay, no, that's not necessarily true. There are other archer units that can do well, but any other foot archer unit would probably struggle because of the lack of mobility. I guess plumes and rats and archers. And it still, to me, feels like the plumes are doing a good enough job. But I could be maybe I'm not right on that because the KD doesn't really... The KD doesn't show that. They still are eating the plumed archers. Yeah, I mean, the Ghulam's an insane unit. And there's more Ghulams coming in. Let's see if the siege elephants end up working here for Saymyname. It's really the castles that are getting the assists here. Because at the end of the day, Viper can hop in and out of the castles, and the castle fire is shredding. Okay, good kills. Viper still has more plumes, though. I mean, he's got the castles. He's got the Q. Saymyname will lose his castle here, and he might need to reposition these villagers off of gold. He's hiding the siege elephants. If Viper sees siege elephants, though, I think he will maybe just send villagers after it. Ooh, man. Interesting game. There's definitely been moments here where you understand as Viper gets murder holes. There's been many moments here where you understand the hype of the Ghulam. But right now, Viper has the lead. And he's got 5 castles now. So he's got castles everywhere in a ring. And normally, you know, the best players, they're going to take the middle hill after they feel like they've won the game, right? Saymyname, he took that earlier in the game. Viper is just slowly taking the control back. And I don't know. I mean, the siege elephants are actually dying to the plumes because there's no Ghulams now. 60 plumed archers are going to wreck. There's nothing you can do with Ghulams now. What is it? They're doing 3 damage a hit, right? And it's 75 HP. So the Ghulams are going to look horrible now. The only thing you'd really need would be rams, I guess, which is what they have with the siege elephants, essentially. Yeah, mines do not get champions, by the way, so that's what makes it a little awkward for them, in theory, but... Man, I feel bad for Saymyname. He's really trying now, but he's just going to get wrecked. Viper's got full gold coverage. He's got the Trebs to move out. I guess the question is, can Viper move out comfortably with the Trebs? Because they could get sniped by Ghulams. I'm just not sure that the Ghulam number can ever be high enough. He needs to get probably 40 to have a chance. Viper backing up. Viper realizing this could be a threat. And now he's mixed in some halbs. So just some melee here. It's an interesting choice here for Viper because he just doesn't want to spend gold on anything and he doesn't know what else to make. Halb is the only thing he could really justify doing. I think going Eagles would be a mistake. So again, you don't really need the Eagles. You just need a couple of melee units to take out the Rams or to act as a meat shield. It doesn't necessarily matter how much damage they're doing. And, well, Viper will lose a Treb, maybe even lose 2 Trebs. But his position will still stand. On the bright side for Saymyname, though, he does have 2 castles still producing Ghulams. But he had to lose Ghulams to push Viper back here. And Viper's going to continue to arrive and punish. And he's a 200 pop right now. And I think if it's Arabia, maybe it's a little different. But with how he had to play, he was kind of instantly behind in eco and castle age because of how amazing Viper played. But at least, like, maybe if he could have gotten ahead, then I think maybe there's no way back for Viper. But the fact that Viper secured that early lead and has gotten to such a big plumed archer count is making such a big difference here for him. Yeah, the Ghulams, maybe melting isn't the word, but they are dying. They just cannot keep up with this. And Saymyname couldn't keep up with the Viper. That's maybe not fair to say. He actually played an amazing series. There were 2 out of these 3 games where I thought he could have had victories. But in the end for him, he doesn't win a single one in his first round of the group. Viper looked good. You know, obviously, playing on some maps that we haven't seen players play on in a while, right? So I think that Viper will make some adjustments here or there. But Viper played like Viper, one of the favorites to maybe win the first season, and they'll be happy with the, what is it, $120 because it's $40 per victory for the players. Then obviously the group standings, getting 3 wins in the first rounds. But again, props to Saymyname. I don't think he'll get discouraged. He knows that he's the underdog here. I think Saymyname is going to be dangerous to anyone else in this group. He played amazing. All the games were really good. There were probably a few of you who thought this was just going to be a quick and easy 3-0. It really wasn't. He had a good one here. Again, in this game, I think that Mayan buildup with FC and the Plumes is just really smart. I'm just curious on what Viper's initial plan was. I think it might have actually been to place a TC on the stone. But Saymyname did a really intelligent thing by placing the tower and hiding it from Viper and then breaking in. That's not a normal thing you see. And he made Viper pay a little bit, but in the end, the Plume buildup was just so strong. And Saymyname played like a beast here. So I guess to close out, sorry I don't have a professional scene for this yet. We're going to be working on it this week. But to close out the cast, I'll just go to the groups real quick and show you what else is on the card for this group. At the end of every week, I'm going to have a little roundup. It'll probably be like week and a half, actually, where I do a little roundup of results and what has happened. Because I won't be able to cast every single one, though I will be casting a lot of them. But this is the group. So you can see the round 1 matches as well. So for Group A, you have Viper, Saymyname, Doubt and Miguel, and then Jordan in Classic Pro. And so, yeah, those are the 6 players, right? And you can see all the rounds. And they rotate through the group, and they play every single player one time with a play all 3. At the conclusion of the group, there is going to be a standings that look very much like this, right? So you've got the green, you've got the yellow. I know it's very similar. And you've got, like, I don't know, the brown or the orange, right? And so bottom 2 in the red positions, they're going to drop out and go to Gold League for the next season. You've then got the 4th place, which is just a stay alive position for no additional prize pool or prestige. And then whoever's top 3 are going to move on towards a system like this. Scroll down here, you can see 2nd and 3rd in groups play off in a best of 5. And then there's the quarters moving on towards the semis and the grand final. Yeah, since it's all new as well, and some of you guys might have seen videos where I discuss the groups, I can also just show that. You've got Barles, Bro, Hera, Dragonstar, Velez, and Yo in Group B. Group C is Backed, Capoch, Leary, Slam, Song, and Vinchester. And then Group D has ACCM, Bad Boy, Dogal, MBL, Nikov, and Tato. I would consider this the group of death, even though they're all really strong, because it's really hard to pick 2 names here and say, okay, these guys are getting knocked out, because there's quite a few big names in there. I mean, they're all big names. I'm not trying to disrespect anyone, but like, Group A, you could say, well, Saymyname maybe the weakest. Didn't look like it. The guy didn't look like it, but still, maybe the weakest on paper. Here, Dragonstar, maybe the weakest on paper. Bruh, maybe weaker. This is a tough group as well for me because I think Leary, Vinchester are like clearly the best. And of the other 4, it could be tricky to see who stays in. Yeah, lots of games. And the idea for me behind this format, guys, is just to keep the scene growing, keep the scene thriving. I've always loved the game, and I've always, loved to cast it and whatnot, and I've loved to host tournaments, and that's all well and good, but also I believe a lot in a system like this, and I think it's better for all the players instead of maybe just like the top 10 or the top 15. And I hope it'll lead to exciting content, of course, but I want more players to be able to make some money off the game, and I think it'll make the scene better. So, exciting.